Understand first of all, what is Ushirika Day and of what significance is it, especially for the cooperative movement?
Thank you very much, Igunza. Ushirika Day is of great importance to the cooperative movement because this is an international day celebrated by cooperatives worldwide. Actually, this started in 1923, and in 1995, December 2016, the UN actually declared the International Cooperative Day in its as one of its resolutions in that meeting. So it's a day that is celebrated worldwide by the cooperative movement, and it's extremely important because it is a day that cooperatives sit and reflect on the cooperative business model. Because I can tell you the cooperative business model is an inclusive business model. It includes the low of the bottom, the middle, and whoever wants to join, because it has unique principles. And it's a business model where the member is the owner, is the investor, and the consumer. So it brings everything in totality by using the 7 cooperative principles, which are open and voluntary. It deals with member economic participation. The member gets a right to exercise his democratic right. So it actually is a fundamental cornerstone in the cooperative for democracy to set in. And so it's a good way for teaching every member or citizen on issues of democracy. The other thing that we pride in is because in that business model, the member must be informed. He must be trained. He must be informed of what is happening. Then the other one is that we are supposed to cooperate among cooperatives. There's cooperation among cooperatives. And of course, the other one, which is critical, is the concern for the community. So it's a sustainable model.
Yes. And having a business model that's sustainable is one thing. Having it actually impact the lives of those that it targets is a separate thing altogether. Would you say over the years that the cooperative movement in the country has been able to achieve these mandates?
Oh, yes. Initially, in the 1963, one of the government objectives was to use the cooperative movement as a vehicle for social and economic empowerment. And actually, we had land buying cooperatives that bought land when the Wazungus were living and divided to its members, so it made people own land. Then the other critical thing was on issues of agricultural marketing. I'm sure you are young, you might not know, but in those early days, the cooperative movement, actually, if your father was a member of a cooperative movement, you could just use a slip from the cooperative, agricultural marketing cooperative, for your fees to be said it will be paid with no reason. So it has really impacted. And then the GDP of the country at that time, it was very, this cooperative movement played a critical role in the GDP because it actually transformed lives and made economic development for this country. However, we know that as we went on, there was an issue. They went down because of many other influences that I will not go to. But now the cooperative has resurged, and it's doing extremely well. Today, if you listen to every Kenyan talking, they're talking about Saccos. Savings and credit cooperative. Why are they talking about this? Because it's become such a fundamental pillar in the development or in empowerment of the cooperative members. And I want to say that Saccos is just a subset of the cooperative. As I've said, we have agricultural marketing cooperative, we have transport cooperatives, we have sand harvesting cooperatives, and we have many other cooperatives. But Saccos, because of its success, actually has played a fundamental role in the Kenyan development. And just to give you a few figures, is that as of to date, the cooperative prides itself, the Saccos prides itself because it has given about 590 billion loans to its members. Members have saved about 640 billion. And they have an asset base running actually into 1 trillion, but what we have documented is about 800 billion. So we are saying the cooperative has really played in this space. So it is ensuring finances are affordable. Because I said this organ, this business model, which I want to say, it's a private entity. Cooperatives drive themselves from self-responsibility. They want to show that solidarity among themselves. So it's normally a private entity. But because it touches on so many lives, and it encompasses, it's an open and voluntary, so it brings in a lot of members. then government must put in regulation just to ensure that members' funds are secure. And I want to say that because of their success, we have seen in the recent past how everybody wants to associate themselves with the Sacco.
True.
Yeah, so I think that's one of the issues, that the success of the cooperative movement has been so critical. I want to go back and say, if you look at the cooperative bank, where did it start from? It's actually driven by the cooperative movement. Its majority shareholders are the cooperative members. Yeah. What type of cooperative members are we talking about? The coffee farmer. People of all walks and types of life. People who do not have means, and they're already in that. We also look at CIC. CIC is a cooperative insurance company. It actually, again, it's a cooperative member-driven. It provides insurance for very low people, low-income people, and even high-end people. But to make it very interesting is that their focus is on the poor. Their focus. They have products that entice the very low of the bottom to ensure that they actually get insurance services. They get in other facilities in the movement.
Thank you very much. We continue now, Mary. We were at a point where you indicated that these cooperatives and Saccos are actually meant especially to target the poor. But then again, we know of cases where many poor people, as well as people who are well off, have actually lost their investment because these entities have been set up in a manner that is illegal perhaps, or their operations have always been in doubt. I just want to know how widespread this particular menace is and how you as an entity is tackling this particular menace.
I want to say first is that, as I said, cooperatives have really contributed to this economy. Coffee, 70% is marketed through cooperatives. Dairy, 80% is marketed through cooperatives. I've given you the figures of how much saving has been done. However, I must say this. In any organization, not 100% leadership is credible or is ethical. So we have had instances where we have seen, especially in the Sacco, because that's where the problem has come in, because it targets both the whole spectrum of people, because their interest rates are normally very affordable. If you get a normal loan from a Sacco, the effective interest rate actually over a 3-year or 4-year period comes to about 6 to 7%. So it is affordable. And because of that affordability, we have had people coming in wanting, actually, I think from the word go, they want to offer proper services, but they come into the cooperative not knowing the principles behind the cooperative. Why do I say this? Because when we have called a few, because we have seen a few errant cooperatives that are not servicing their members. When we call them and we take them through, they tell us, Madam, or whoever officer is dealing with them, actually we were not aware these are the circumstances that surround this business cooperative model. We thought we'd just come and get money, maybe buy land, maybe do this, and then give the returns to the members. But when it's a savings and credit, we have said that even the bylaws clearly stipulate you have to save and then borrow. So we have seen a few of them coming, registering, and actually, you know, cooperative is devolved. They use the county officers. The county officers promote them. They give them all the necessary education. We come, we register. When you take them back, they actually hold even their first AGM. After that, a few of the members think this is now my organ, not the member. So they screw up the structure the way it's supposed to be, because the supreme organ is the general membership. So the board becomes now the authority. Of course, they're supposed to implement decisions that they have been given. So when they do that, the members' funds are put at risk. And I can tell you, we have had a few, and we are actually dealing with them. But what I want to say is that we have, because the law empowers us, when we see something is happening, we actually go and do an impromptu inspection. If we see a cooperative is developing too fast, maybe getting out of the jurisdiction given by the bylaws, or targeting members that are outside the bylaws, we actually send officers there in collaboration with the county officers. They go and do some quick supervision.
And is there legal backing or perhaps just interventions that actually can ensure that those who fall victim to such kind of organizations actually don't lose their investments?
If we do proper inspection at the proper time, if the leadership, again, this is where we remember I talked about democracy.
Yeah.
When we are putting people in offices, we really must know these people. Cooperative is driven by openness and honesty and self-responsibility. So the people we put in leadership are very critical. So if in the event, maybe some of them, because they do not know what is required, if they mess up, we actually have backing in law where we do that supervision, we do inquiries, and we can actually charge the board, the directors or the management committee. And when we charge them, we will charge them, even surcharge them. If there is any money lost, they will pay.
Okay.
But of course, we have had instances where money has been collected because members have been promised very high abnormal returns and fallen prey, and the leadership has actually taken that money away. The best we do is actually we cancel, and then we put liquidation into place, and then we recover the money, whatever is there for the members. We cannot say we'll recover 100%, but whatever is recovered, members are paid on a pro rata basis.
Okay.
But our concern, both us and the national and the county, is to ensure that the leadership is well educated, is well versed with the tools that are required, so that the members' safety is assured. Okay. The other thing that we have said is the Saccos, if they grow to a certain level, we actually have a Saccos Act, where prudential guidelines now are put into place, and they strictly observe those liquidity ratios or the ratios that are set so that members' funds are protected.